Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hawk Radio. I am your host, Thomas, and I'm here with my good buddy, Patrick.
Hello.
And this is the Party On podcast on Party Pastime, where Patrick and I discuss the entertainment news that probably means important to us, more or less.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
And welcome back, everybody. We were out for 2 weeks. I was out of town and I was on vacation with some family and friends. I'm happy to talk about that today. Pat, I know you're excited about a little something that your favorite shoe brand released. Want to talk about that real quick?
Sure, why not? Yeah, Vans recently did a giant collection in collaboration with Warner Brothers called House of Terror. And they... There's a big horror themed collection that launched earlier in the month, just in time for Halloween. Pairs for a lot of stuff. Let's see, there was The Shining, It, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Exorcist.
Ooh, Exorcist.
Beetlejuice and Gremlins, I think, were all the brands represented.
Right.
Beetlejuice and Gremlins you can only get in the custom shop. You have to order custom designs for them. And then the other ones were all just kind of designs that they made specifically. Really popular collection. A lot of people are popping off about it. I know the Freddy Krueger skate highs sold out pretty quick.
Oh.
I was seeing a lot of posts on the Vans subreddit and various social media accounts saying that they were getting cancellation emails and warehouses were not able to fulfill all of the stock. I you know me, when a Vans drop is coming up that I'm really looking forward to, I'm always right there at midnight because they always drop at midnight Eastern. And yeah, I grabbed a couple pairs and a t-shirt, bought the Nightmare on Elm Street t-shirt, and then I bought an It pair and a Friday the 13th pair. The Friday pair is my first pair of slip-ons. I haven't bought a pair of Vans slip-ons yet, so check that box there. Yeah, it was really cool. I said this when I posted about it on Instagram. I wish they had been able to collaborate with more studios than just Warner Brothers. Because personally, my two favorite horror movies are Alien and Scream.
Right.
Neither of which were represented, unfortunately. I also thought it was interesting that they decided to go with old school It instead of modern day It. Yeah. Excited. I'm out yet another sum of money because of Vans just knowing exactly what I like.
When are you never out of money with Vans, Pat?
I mean...
Has there ever, because you seem to always buy a whole new thing when Vans comes out. Has there ever been a whole collab that you just weren't interested in buying at all?
Oh yeah, I passed on. Let's see, I passed on Where's Wally and Simpsons both last year, because neither of them were
Simpsons. Okay,
yeah, they were really none of the designs they dropped were really my thing. I passed on SpongeBob as well, because there weren't too many there that I was super interested in.
Right.
There have been a few things, but most Vans collabs hit. So as a general fan of the brand and as a collector, I usually buy one or two things.
Right.
But yeah, I've especially last year when I was taking a look at my collection and I was like, maybe I should chill. There were a few things. There were a few things I passed on, but then there were other things where I was like, I gotta buy those, because they did a pair with Foo Fighters for their 25th anniversary. So gotta buy those. They did a pair with Metallica, which I'm wearing right now, and yeah, Vans, boy.
Coming to me, I like I said, we didn't have a show last week. I was out of town. I visited some family in Maryland. Some family I haven't seen in a couple of years.
Yes.
Some family I haven't seen since I was a child. So it was that was a fun vacation.
It's always the best.
I have a cousin who's 12 years old, 13 years old. She's in middle school. She's going to start high school next year.
Yeah.
She's not doing too well.
Oh, really?
So one thing I promised her is that if I see good report cards this whole school year, summer, I plan on going to California to see family again. I'm gonna be going down over there for Christmas.
I want to eat more In-N-Out. I'll be honest with you.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
It's good. It's good.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna front. It's good.
But yeah, one thing I promised my cousin: if she gets good grades, I'll take her to Cali with me. I think it's a good incentive.
Hi, it's me, your cousin. I got good grades this year.
All right, I'll buy your ticket, Pat.
Sick.
And then after that, I went over to Philly, met with a couple of friends, and we all went to Stowe, Vermont, the little city. And it was pretty cool. We actually hiked some mountain, hiked this really gorgeous mountain. We actually hit the little top, and we knew it was because they had like this whole landmark there.
Right.
Really cool. Really cold though.
Oh,
really windy too.
Yeah, Vermont's cold this time of year. I feel like Vermont's cold in general, but
yeah, well, that's what happens when you're a Floridian.
Yeah, I'd rather be cold than hot, personally.
Really? I don't. I'd always be the opposite. A lot of my friends always prefer being cold than hot. I always prefer the opposite for some reason.
Yeah, dude. As a lifelong Floridian, I can't stand the weather here. It's the middle of October, and like, granted, it's not as humid as it has been for the past couple of months, but still, like, if the 10-step walk from my front door to my car causes me to sweat, that's whack. That's stupid. Like, it's what when I was in California, it's dry there. I noticed. It makes sense. All the fires and stuff like that.
And let's not forget the drought that they're facing too.
But it was refreshing as like someone who doesn't live in a dry heat climate.
Right.
Like, it was nice to walk outside and be like, oh, it's 90 degrees outside, but I'm not sweating. And that can be a little bit dangerous sometimes because you really got to stay on top of your hydration. But
right.
Whatever. I live by hydrate or hydrate. So, like, I'm always drinking water, bro. Like, I'm a hydro homie. If you follow that subreddit. Anyway, yeah. That's my tangent.
So we'll be we're going to go on a quick break, everybody. Coming up, Pat and I are going to discuss some recent lawsuits that Disney and Marvel have been facing. One with Scarlett Johansson, one with the Steve Ditko estate. I know you. Welcome back, partiers, to Party Pastime. Patrick, Marvel and Disney have been seeing some lawsuits recently.
Yep.
Off-putting in some ways, other reasons it does seem logical. One in particular I've been following more closely than the other. This whole thing with Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
And not really with Marvel, but with Disney.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what's going on, long story short, contractual obligations got involved. Black Widow was released on Disney Plus with premium access.
Yes.
And of course, when that happens, the movie didn't really. It made its money back. It was still released in theaters, but Scarlett Johansson on her contract had a set paycheck. And of course, because the movie was set on Disney Plus, the movie, unfortunately, her paycheck, she unfortunately didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
But recently,
I know they settled.
Scarlett Johansson lawsuit settled with Disney. She will receive $40 million, and she's on slate to produce a Tower of Terror film that Disney has been working on for a while, and she's actually been credited as producer for a while now. This is what Alan Bergman, who's the chairman of Disney Studios Content, said. I'm very pleased that we have able to come to a mutual agreement with ScarJo regarding Black Widow. We appreciate her contributions to the MCU and look forward to work together on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror. Johansson launched the lawsuit after Disney opts for a hybrid release for Black Widow, claiming her fees were based on the box office performance of the film. The current global box office revenue stands at $377 million, but the film suffered from a pretentious decline of 67% in its second week.
Yep.
That's what happens when you do premium access, Disney. Nobody likes it. I think we can agree, nobody likes this premium access, but they still do it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind premium access if it wasn't $30.
$30 What's the deal with
$30, bro? I understand that if you're like a family of 4, it would be cheaper to buy the.
But if you're living alone by yourself,
yeah, I just
really no point in doing $30.
I watched Black Widow by myself, dude. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna pay $30 for that. Yeah. It's streaming everywhere now, right? Like it's like you can just you don't need premium access anymore, right?
Yeah, I believe after a certain time premium access did end for that movie, because I believe the movie's about to be released on DVD and some kind of physical release soon.
That makes sense.
But it's happy to hear that has been settled. I know there were speculations going around saying that Disney might have to replace ScarJo if they want to bring back Black Widow or something, or anything like that. Kevin Feige has actually been a pretty good advocate with ScarJo, saying that how Disney treated this film release was not good.
Yeah.
Which props to him, man. If your producer says that, you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's about it for that lawsuit. Everything has been settled. She is still going to receive her paycheck, and she is still going to work with Disney. I think it's safe to say that they won't replace her if the speculations were true weeks ago.
No, I don't think they'll replace her. But also, what more could they possibly do with Black Widow?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
She's dead.
Yeah, I mean, unless they want to do flashbacks of scenes that we haven't seen, something in the timeline.
Always with the flashbacks.
Exactly. But moving on to that, let's move on to another lawsuit. This one is solely with Marvel alone. I'm going to let you take it from here, Pat. What is going on with this Steve Ditko estate? Who was Steve Ditko in the first place?
Steve Ditko is the co-creator of Spider-Man with Stan Lee, as well as several other characters. The estate of Steve Ditko is suing Marvel in an attempt to get the rights of Spider-Man, the character Spider-Man, from Marvel and awarded back to them. Steve Ditko died in 2018, so they are suing on his behalf. It's basically his family suing on his behalf. And that's that's what's happening. The estate of Steve Ditko is suing Marvel to get the rights of Spider-Man back in their hands. Marvel, of course, alleges that any characters that were created by like Stan Lee and stuff while they were working for Marvel were created under contract. They're not yours. That was contract work for Marvel. So they're ours, right? And it's interesting because I feel like if you create a character, you should own that character. At the same time, that was what you signed up for.
Yeah.
That was your contract. It sucks, but it's sort of legally binding. At the same time, I do get it. My big thing is everybody is talking about how, Steve Ditko didn't make the money that he deserved, and that's completely true. And I see a lot of people talking about how like, oh, well, you don't know that Steve Ditko, wouldn't have wanted this. And to those people, I say, I do know Steve Ditko didn't want this, because from the time he retired from Marvel in 1968 to the time he died in 2018, Steve Ditko didn't sue Marvel for the rights of the character.
Right.
He had a long time to potentially do this. I don't think it was ever about the money for Steve. I really don't. I think Steve was just happy with what he... I mean, I can't speak for Steve, of course, but I feel like he was just happy to have his creation out there and meaning so much to so many millions of people.
Right.
Spider-Man's iconic. I don't know that Marvel would lose, but if they were to lose, then the estate of Steve Ditko then decides who gets to do what with Spider-Man. So
Now, from what I understand, if Marvel does lose, Disney will have to share ownership with these characters when it comes to the movies. From at least from what I understand.
Well, they just wouldn't be able to use Spider-Man at all, unless the estate of Steve Ditko says so. So, because Disney owns Marvel, but Marvel owns those characters. You know what I mean? Like those are. Yeah, it's kind of complicated.
Right.
But yeah, assuming the estate would win, Spider-Man anything would kind of be on hold until the estate decides who to distribute the rights to. If I were them, I would just sell it back to Disney and get a bunch of money. It's interesting. It feels weird that they're doing this now and on his behalf. I don't want to say it's the family looking to get a quick buck, but it is kind of interesting that, the man himself didn't sue for, 50 years? And now they're doing this? It's a little weird. It would just be weird because Spider-Man would effectively be put on hold from pop culture for an undisclosed period of time.
Right.
And then let's say they don't sell the rights back to Marvel or back to Disney and they go with somebody else. Everything that Disney has in motion with Spider-Man right now no longer exists. They have to stop doing it. Whether they want to or not. Unless they unless it's a triangle type deal where they then buy the rights back from whoever the estate sells it to. Provided it's weird. Yeah. I don't know that this has developed too much in the past couple of weeks. I haven't been keeping tabs on it.
Do you know who his family's being represented by?
No.
Mark Toberoff, who, and this is from the Hollywood Reporter, it says, who once famously represented Superman creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster in an unsuccessful termination attempt against DC Comics.
Yep. They tried to get the rights back to Superman back from DC, and they lost. I imagine this going similarly. Yeah.
So do you think the Steve Ditko's estate and family will lose this lawsuit?
I think it's highly likely. I don't see them winning. If they do, good for them, but I don't see them winning.
Right.
Honestly, with Disney's lawyers and the fact that, Marvel has, that contract, anything you make with us is under contract. It's not yours, it's ours. You made a property for us. Yeah. Complicated situation, to say the least.
Right. Have there been any updates since then, or is this still ongoing?
I really haven't heard anything. I mean, I haven't been actively looking, but in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I really haven't heard any developments. I don't even know that I don't think it's even officially gone to court.
Right.
Yet. I don't think they've had first proceedings or anything. I think they're just either have filed or are getting ready to file.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Should be an interesting legal battle.
If they do end up going to court, I think this will get really interesting. But
yeah,
from what it seems like,
I'm sure they'll go to court. I just don't think they'll win. That's that's just my 2 cents.
I haven't heard anything from Feige what he thinks. But knowing him, I'm sure he has his 2 cents on this whole thing.
Everybody who works at Marvel right now is definitely the estate of Steve Ditko is trying to get the rights to Spider-Man back, eh? And they're all I'm sure they're all ruminating and, thinking of possibilities and all.
Right.
Because Marvel always plans 32 steps ahead.
Well, that about does it for this segment of Marvel Madness on Thursday here on Party Pastime. We'll keep everybody updated on this Steve Ditko lawsuit happening.
I'll watch it more closely as the weeks go by.
Yeah.
Legal proceedings take a long time, as we saw with Apple versus Epic. So
I forgot about that. I really forgot about that.
Yep.
But then again, I really don't care about Fortnite.
I mean, me neither. But I was watching that legal battle very closely because I wanted to make sure that they both lost. And in a way, they both did. So, nice.
Be sure to tune in, everybody. We'll be back on a quick break with our after party show. We're going to discuss we're going to review and do a spoiler talk of Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, boy.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back, everybody.